Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are working on the 2014 Chevy Cruze again. The driver's side window regulator broke. So this is the old one. You can see the cables are flopping around. They're unhooked. What happened to it was probably my fault, because about 2 years ago during the winter time, the window froze shut. And this is the track and the holder for the window, for the driver's side window. And it froze shut, and I hit the button and it wouldn't move. So I was driving the car, I had the heat on, and I was hoping that it might thaw itself out. Well, it didn't, and I was trying the window, and eventually I heard the motor run all the way to the down position, but the window was still up. So what probably happened was the window pulled out of these clamps that hold it to the track. So once the window thawed and everything was good again, I ran the motor back up. The window was probably sitting in the tops of these holders, these clamps, and it was going up and down, and I didn't think too much of it because it was still working. About 2 years later, roughly about 2 years later, I went to roll the window up and I heard a loud pop inside the door, and the window wouldn't move anymore. So as I was driving to work, the window moved further and further down into the door, and it finally got to the point where I couldn't even grab it to pull it back up anymore. So while I was at work, I put a trash bag over the door just in case it would rain. And then I drove home with the window fully down at about 70-80 miles an hour. Not a whole lot of fun. So when I got home, I pulled the door panel off and grabbed a hold of the window and pushed it back up into place and taped it into position so it wouldn't fall down on me. And in the bottom of the door, I found this piece, and it was broken. So there you go. That was the loud pop that I heard, was that thing breaking, and that was it. So I pushed the window back up into place. I duct taped it, and I'll show you my duct tape rig to be able to drive it to work today. I just taped it to stay in place, and I pulled this out, and yesterday I was pretty sure that the regulator was the problem, so I ordered a brand new one from GM, which we have here. I ordered one without the motor. I got it off Amazon. It was about 60 bucks for the driver's side. Now the passenger side is like 90 bucks, probably because you don't have to replace that one very often. So, but what we need to do right now is we need to swap the motor from the old one over to the new one. And the way we do that is these 3 screws here, 1, 2, 3. We undo those screws and we pop the motor apart and we put it into the new one. So it's a little hard to do that one-handed, so give me a second and I will get it done. Okay, so I pulled the screws out. I pulled the motor out of the reel for the cables, and you can see the cables wrap themselves around the motor. So I think the motor's still good, I hope. Let me get this taken apart and we'll install the motor into the new regulator. Alright, so 3 screws. 1, 2, and 3. And we have the motor back in. This one is definitely done for. So you can see the cables, all the problems. Now when you put the motor back in, line up your bolt holes with the motor and line up your splines. Everything should pretty much slide together easily. If you have to force it, there's a problem. So like I said, I thought maybe I could repair this piece here, this guide, and now that I see this, yeah, there was no way we were going to do that. So good thing we bought a whole new regulator, and it comes with the new guides, the new window holders, tracks, cables, and everything you need. You can buy this with the motor already attached. I chose not to because this motor Sounded like it was still running pretty good, so I'm hoping that it's still okay. I guess we'll see when we put it in. If it's not, I guess I'm buying a motor. So, all right, we'll take this out to the car. I'll show you how to take the panel off, and we'll put this thing in. Okay, so you don't need a whole lot of tools to do this, really. We have a T20 Torx bit. We have some prying tools to pry the panel off of the door, and we have a 10mm socket. So it's pretty easy to do. What you want to do, there's a cover that goes over top of this. You can get in there with a pocket screwdriver, or what I used a pick. I just took the pick, went in the top there, popped it loose. That's a T20 Torx bit. And then down here, there's another T20 Torx bit that you have to get out. There's a cover over top of this. Again, with a pocket screwdriver, you can just pop it out of the way and get to that. So take those off, take the covers off, take the screws out. You have to take the mirror cover off. That's just held in by a clip here and a clip here. Right here, right here. Just basically get your pry tool behind it and pull it forward, and it'll pop off. And then the door panel itself, you want to get a pry tool behind it and pull it forward. And let me take it off here, and I will show you where the clips are located. All right, this is the back side of the panel. There's your door handle right there. There's a cable that goes through here and locks into here. There's a blue clip that you have to pop loose to get that free. Then you have two plugs down here. You have a plug for the mirror, and you have a plug for the power window switch. So these are the clips that you have to pop loose. Like I said, a good pry tool, a good interior pry tool works well. The one I used came from Amazon. That's it right there. Worked pretty good. Got it apart. So there's some other videos on YouTube that show a little bit more in depth of how to do this, but it's pretty self-explanatory. There's a blue clip, you pop it loose, you pull it out through this little slot, and you pull the cable up out of the hole. So as far as the plugs go, they're pretty easy. There's a this one here, you just depress that and pull. This one here has a security clip in it. You can use a pocket screwdriver to move back, or just take out completely. You can push it right back in. This is the plug for the window motor. All you have to do is press right there and pull it out. And other than that, your door panel is pretty much free. So that's what it looks like. There's plenty of room to get the regulator in and out of this. If you're taking it apart, there are 4 bolts that hold the regulator. I'm sorry, 5 bolts that hold the regulator assembly in. One here, and the top ones here you can leave in. Just don't make them tight, and they'll fall down into those slots. It'll help you to line it up. One here. One here. Another one down here. And another one over here. So, like I said, it's pretty straightforward how to do it. It's not real difficult. So, you know, we're looking at our 4 bolts. There's 1 bolt hole, 2nd bolt hole, 3rd bolt hole, 4th, and 5th. And that's all that holds it in. So, let me grab the new regulator. We will get it in here and go from there. Okay, the new regulator is in. There's the slotted bolt hole. I haven't put these ones in yet, but I will here in a second. There's that one. You just it's loose and it moves around. You just move it till it lines up. Run your bolt in. Same thing over here. Line it up, run in your bolt, everything should be good. We can plug this in after we get it bolted. So I'll show you how I tape the window up. So you can see this from the back side. I just folded up a piece of paper towel and put duct tape over it. And what that did was that created a little bit of a bulge here to keep it from falling down into the door or possibly breaking. Up here, I put a piece of paper towel around the finish and around the weather stripping because I didn't want the duct tape to pull off. This is the black Gorilla tape. So the Gorilla tape only touches the window. So I figure we don't have to worry about any finish problems or anything like that. I can peel it off, and if it leaves any residue, take a razor blade to it, everything will be good to go. So let's get this thing bolted back in, and we'll get the door panel back on, and we should be ready to go. All right, so we are bolted in, snugged down. All the bolts are in, good to go. This clamp here is loose. So what we're going to do is we are going to turn on the key, and we are going to slowly run this up until it cradles the bottom of the window. So, and then after we do that, we should be able to go through this hole, and we should be able to torque the nut. So, and I believe it goes to 80 inch-pounds. I'll have to double check. So once we're done there, I plug the motor in. We are ready to run it up and connect it to the window. After that, we can put our door panel back on, and we should be ready to go. Okay, through there we can get to that nut, and through there we can get to that nut. We are going to torque these down to 80 inch-pounds, not foot-pounds, inch-pounds. And I did forget to mention, sorry, you do need to bring your door panel over, and you do need to plug in your window switch in order to run the regulator up to the window. So, all right, let me torque these and we'll move forward. All right, we are torqued in place. Everything's looking pretty good. Window regulator is tightened down. We're gonna put our door panel back on. As we put the door panel back on, we need to connect the mirror connector and the power window connector. We've already connected our motor, and let's not forget this. This is what actuates, this is what the door handle uses to actuate the latch. So what you do is you put this down into the hole, slide this in through the slot, and then this blue piece clips it into place so it doesn't come apart. After that, we're going to take off our rig to keep the window up, and we're going to see how it works. All right, door panel is back on and lined up with the lock. All you need to do to put this back on really is give it a push. There you go. And they all pop back into place. And we're good. So we're gonna put our Torx back in here and here. We're gonna put our covers back on, and we're gonna take our tape off and we're gonna try it. If you were interested to see what the mirror cover looks like, this is it. Those are the two clips that hold it in. Again, they just push back into place, just like the door panel. All right, we're just about done here. This is our cover plate here. 3 little clips. There's where you pop your pocket screwdriver or your pick into. We're just gonna put that back in. And here is the cover for down in here. That doesn't have any clips or anything. All you gotta do is get under that with a screwdriver and pop it out. So, let's grab our key. I took the duct tape off. You can see it left some residue. I knew it was gonna do that. That's, like I said, why I only taped it to the window. I didn't tape it to any finish or anything on the car. So, let's see how this works. Let's open and close the window. All the way down. All the way up. And we should be good to go. Not much to it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll do my best. You know, I would have showed the video from start to finish, but it's really hard to do this one-handed and kind of hold the camera at the same time. So, hey, thanks for watching. If this video helped you out, I hope it did. Hit the like button, subscribe if you like. As long as I own this car, I'm sure I'm going to be doing videos on how to fix the damn thing. So, thank you, and have a good night.